Greetings, comrades. Hope this finds you well. Quick shout out to INN, the Indian News Network, which I'm stoked to be a founding member of. So, this past Sunday, I reached the end of week 8 of my homegrown / foraged food challenge, which again was just me making an effort to, eat something each day that I either grew or foraged for, to just making sure I'm making more of an effort to grow as much of my own food as possible, as well as to hopefully inspire other people to grow food, learn how to do that, figure out what they like, start small, grow from there. Pun intended. Get it? Growing food. Because it's just really, really important thing, and it's does a number of things. Like um, you get to grow the highest quality food possible. You get to know everything that goes into the food. It's really good for the environment. Obviously, you can just go out your back door, or travel to your local pea patch and get some food. You're not having food that's trucked in from out of state or out of the country. So you're giving your body the best food possible. It's also good for the planet. What's good for the planet is good for people as well, obviously. And it's just I find it very just therapeutic in general. Just working with the soil, starting plants from seed, seeing them grow, then be able to eat ripe fucking juicy tomatoes at the peak of freshness and flavor. So just so fucking good. And like it's something that you can obviously, if you're growing a surplus, you can share with other people. You can share knowledge of how to do it, and it's something that just by necessity and survival, like a lot of people, even just a few generations ago, right? Think like World War II and the victory gardens that people had in the United States, and how a lot of food was produced locally within your community, and you're able to maybe trade. Let's say your neighbor has a really good harvest of potatoes, and you have carrots, but not so much potatoes. You can, maybe trade some carrots for potatoes, things like that. And, again, also, I think who knows how much longer our, very unsustainable, capitalist food system, we'll be able to, just be able to go to the grocery store and get, whatever you need any time of the year. Like, it's super, super unsustainable how, a vast majority of our food is being grown in the United States using these, GMO seeds, huge amounts of, pesticides, herbicides, horrible for soil health. And then you're, just eating this chemical and pesticide, herbicide, laden food. Obviously not good for our health, not good for, the bees, the topsoil is deteriorating. All those chemicals end up in the waterways. And then we think about the farm workers, the people who are growing our food. They have to deal with all of those nasty chemicals and everything like that. So there's just an exponential amount of reasons why you should be growing your own food. So that was a bit of a rant. But some of the food that I've enjoyed this week, massive amount of persimmons. I've probably been eating a solid 5, sometimes maybe even 10 of those a day. There's a bunch in my fridge right now. I think I'm going to go cut into after this for some breakfast. Just sounds super, super good. Had a massive just persimmon harvest this year, largely from one tree. I got a little bit from another one, but probably 70-80 pounds of persimmons from these 2 trees combined. And even for non-organic ones, those are about $3 a pound. So that's several $100s in produce right there. That literally the only care that tree's ever been given. Some cardboard, wood chips, maybe a little bit of compost, a little pruning here and there. That's it. Maybe a little bit of water at the peak of summer, just because we had some really hot temperatures here in the Pacific Northwest, like in the triple digits, which is really unheard of. Again, climate change, right? Another crises created by capitalism. So I've been enjoying persimmons on a daily basis. We had some potatoes, had some garlic on the potatoes, had some, I think we had soup last week, right? And there was potatoes in that, garlic as well. let's see what else. I had some frozen blackberries in some oatmeal the other day. Oatmeal is always a good meal, particularly in the winter, and with the frozen blackberries in there, that's super good. I had a smoothie earlier in the week, which had some frozen kale that I grew, along with the frozen blackberries, getting in some good nutrition there. What else? Oh, and I think I said potatoes, right? Had been a really good year for potatoes as well, which is nice because that's like a staple crop. If I could only grow one thing, I'd probably grow potatoes because you could literally live off those. There's this guy who did experiment a while back. I think that's all he ate for a year was potatoes, and was still fairly healthy because they're super, nutrient dense. They can store a long time. There's multiple ways you can make them. I've had them in during this challenge, in soups, baked, on the barbecue, which is super amazing. So this week was lots of potatoes, lots of persimmons. Oh, also had some apple chips. And if you have an excess amount of apples and either food dehydrator or an oven, making apple chips is a nice way to preserve some of those. Add some maybe cinnamon, some nutmeg, whatever you like. Very calorically dense as well. Just make sure you're drinking some water with them because they're dehydrated. The water's been taken out of it, right? Is that all I had this week? Oh, carrots. Dug up some more carrots the other day at the food forest and had some of those, like pulling carrot out of the ground, wiping some of the dirt off, maybe not, however much dirt you like to eat, and then taking a bite of a fresh carrot that's just been pulled out of the ground, particularly this time of year when it's cold, and it kind of helps add some more sweetness to them. Super, super fucking good. I just need to find a good way to keep the fucking rabbits out of the bed because thankfully slugs don't eat them, and a lot of things like slugs will eat here, just because of the climate where I'm growing in. But if I can find a way to keep the rabbits away from eating my goddamn carrot tops because the roots stop developing once the carrot tops get eaten, that would be amazing because I'm able to grow pretty good carrots, frankly. But I'd like to be able to get them, to full size and not these fucking half-pint carrots because these goddamn rabbits. So if you have any tips on that, please let me know. That would be awesome. But yeah, still a decent amount. Oh, also had, I said kale. Decent amount of fresh produce, frankly. And we're in December, and I've been eating fresh fruit from that garden since at least June of this year. So June, July, August, September, October, November, 7 fucking months out of the year. That's pretty amazing. And again, just to hold myself accountable, and it just really has me inspired to keep finding more ways to grow different food that I like to grow. I have a couple ideas coming up for this next season, and want to make sure I'm using as much of the land I have access to grow as much food as possible to to feed myself, my family, and the community, because I like to, as much as possible, share the excess, because again, it's really disgusting, but it's true that buying high quality food is definitely a class and race issue, because it is fucking expensive to buy organic food at the store or at the farmers market. Obviously shouldn't be that way, and it is. So that's why it's nice to share the abundance, engage in that mutual aid when you can. So on to week 9 now, still growing really strong. I'm gonna go cut up some of those persimmons, eat those. Hope you have a good day. Like the video if you like the damn video. Quick shout out to the 2 Uber comrades supporting my channel, this content, my partner in Indie Left News. Definitely check out Indie Left News. They're great research.